Hello YouTube, Sam here from youtube.com/onlivegamer for the new Boston. And in this tutorial we're going to be talking about nested namespaces. Now, just like a whole bunch of stuff inside of Visual Basic, you can nest namespaces. So let's go ahead and get rid of this code that we have already added. So we will delete our person. And if you have no clue what this code is, then you might want to go ahead and move back a couple tutorials to see what we're doing. Okay, so what we can do is come up here and we can just create another namespace to nest other people and friends inside of it. So we'll just go ahead and type namespace all people, and then we can go ahead and end that with an end namespace. So you can see that we have namespace all people, and then we have two namespaces nested inside of it. So this is a better way of organizing your types inside of Visual Basic, but there's also another way of nesting namespaces that I will go into in the next tutorial. It's a little bit better than this, but I figured I should teach you guys this anyway because it's always good to know if you need it. So we'll go ahead and come back over here to form1.vb, and we'll go ahead and create an object. So we'll type private friend, or here, my friend, or here, let's do my new friend as new. And you can see here that we're going to have to specify the namespace all people. So all people dot friends dot people. So now we have access to all the stuff that is inside of people inside of our friends namespace. So we can access the properties first name, last name, and years friends. So let's just go ahead and send the years friends to. Okay, so we'll go ahead and come back here to our form1.vb. If you didn't know what I just did there, all I added was the integer years friends to the toString, to the override toString function. So it will give us back the first name, last name, and years friends. So let's just go ahead and add another text box here. So I'll come down here and select text box, and we will add another label, and we will say years being friends. Okay, so now let's come over here to our form1.vb, and what we want to do is we want to set the properties of my new friend whenever the button 1 is clicked. So my new friend dot first name equals text first name dot text, and then my new friend dot last name equals text last name dot text, and then we'll do that one more time for the years friends. So dot years friends equals and what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to convert this to an integer, because you can see that under our years friends property it's an integer type. So what we're going to do is we'll come over here back to form1.vb, we'll type ctype, and for our first argument it's going to be the object. So we're going to use, or here, text box 1 dot text, and we want to convert that to an integer. And then text box 1 dot text is this right here because we didn't actually rename it. So let's go ahead and run this and see what happens. So we can add the first name, Jim Harris, and years being friends as, let's say we've known each other for 23 years. Click show person, and we forgot to show the person. So let's come back here and we'll type message box my new friend dot toString, and we'll go ahead and run this, and once again we'll type Jim Harris and 23 years being friends, and when we show the person, we get Jim Harris 23. So go ahead and practice nesting namespaces. You can nest as many as you want, but what you want to keep in mind is that you need to keep your code simple and easy to read, so that, let's say, some other developer looks at your code, they should be able to figure out what's going on without having to read through the logic and try to understand it themselves. So don't be nesting namespaces all over the place and make it really confusing. But just go ahead and practice nesting some namespaces, and once you've done that, go ahead and move on to the next tutorial.